Hello everybody, welcome back to the classroom. So today what we are going to talk about is the rules which are prepared by the central government. Yes. So as you guys know that very well, when it comes to any act, the act which is going to govern the cost audit or the act which has specified that yes, there should be a provision related to cost audit, that is Companies Act. And that Companies Act straight away has specified under section number 148 that there should be an audit which is known as cost audit. And this cost audit, they have just informed that yes, there is going to be a specified class of companies, they have to get their cost audit done. That cost audit shall be done by a person who is member of ICMAI. Now sir, what is member of ICMAI or who is known as CMA in practice? That is my first question now. CMA in practice or member of ICMAI, right? See, when we are going to pass our final examinations, then we are going to become members of ICMAI. For any student, if he is doing CA, if anybody is doing CS, anybody is doing CMA, then onto the same situation, they will become the members of the respective bodies, right? What happens after that, just like when you will become member of ICMAI, now there will be two options. One is to straight away become a member, one is to go for a job, and apart from that, if you want to go for a job, practice is not required. Practice is required for people who are looking forward to go in practice. That means they will go into auditing services, certification services, and just like that, just like they are going to establish their own business. Right, so that is CMA in practice. Exact words, that what is the exact definition which is written in law, that is something which we are going to discuss, not right now, maybe in few minutes. Right, moving ahead and talking about the next part. After that, what I told you that under a particular act, there are some rules which are made. When it comes to these rules, they are companies cost records and audit rules 2014. Rules 2014, right? So these are the particular rules which are framed, and just the act is going to just pass an order that yes, every some specified class of companies are going to conduct audit. Which companies should need to prepare cost records, which company should conduct this cost audit, who is going to conduct cost audit, each and every answer is given by rules. These rules are already enforced. Do not have these kind of questions in your mind that whether these rules are applicable, whether these rules are enforced or not. Yes, they are enforced, they are applicable, and whatever you are covering, that is 100% totally amended. You can check it from anywhere. Right. Moving ahead now, talking about the next part. Today we are going to cover these rules. I know we have covered these rules earlier as well, but today I'm going to give you a glimpse that how actually law is written, because once you are going to pass your examinations, after that there will not be a scope being like, just give me a moment, right? There will not be a scope like that you are going to have these kind of classes. There will be just straight away acts and rules written over there. That's all. Okay. Right. So, giving you guys a glimpse of what we have so far covered is rule number 3, rule number 4, rule number 5. Right? You have covered them so far. You have also covered indeed rule number 6 as well. But now, I'm sorry, I just had my lunch. I'm really sorry about that. So these rules are particularly known as Companies Cost Records and Audit Rules 2014. When it comes to any theory subject, do not first of all get a feeling like that yes, I'm scared, I won't be able to do that, the book is like 500 pages. Whenever it comes to any theory subject, there are a lot of things which are written, but what is material or what is relevant, what is meant to be learned or understand, right, they are very few. If I talk about this part only, hardly, you just need to memorize this definition, cost accountants in practice. So what is a cost accountant in practice? First of all, how you can be a CMA in practice? First of all, you need to be a CMA. How you can become a CMA? Once you are going to crack each and every exam, you have to pass each and every exam, and after that you will pay certain kind of membership fees to ICMAI. Then they will enter your name in register of members. Then you will become member, and after that you can apply for practice. Both of the things can be done simultaneously also. See, right? For every member of ICMAI, they have two options, whether to go in practice or whether to go for a job. If you want to go for a job, that's great. If you don't want to go for a job, you can go in practice. There are a lot of things which are available, just like certifications of annual returns, filing of income tax returns, right? Your this cost audit, the exclusive part which you have, right? A lot of things are over there, just like one can conduct tax audit. You don't have the statutory audit, but still tax planning can also be done by us. Right. So a lot of things are over there. A lot of things are over there. If I talk about, I mean, at most of the places, the powers which are given to CACS CMA, they are same. They are almost same. What matters, where the difference lies is, CAs have statutory audit, company secretaries have secretarial audit, and you have the great cost audit itself. Now moving ahead, what is the definition? That means a cost accountant as referred in 2(1)(b). How we are going to read it? Section. I mean, this is going to be, they are particularly of CWA Act 1959. So this is how we are going to read it. Section number 2, subsection 1, clause B of Cost and Works Accountants 1959. There you become a member, and after that you are going to hold a valid certificate of practice. Practice certificate is given generally under 2(1)(6) of, again, ICWA Act. That means CWA Act 1959. This is a kind of definition which you can learn. And sir, is it mandatory being like, it's okay. I mean, if you know the sections really very well, right? If you know the sections really very well, that's great. Sir, okay. So next is the next thing which I have in mind. This can be one of the MCQs. If I tell you about CMA in practice, right? If I tell you that here there is a CMA in practice, can this be an audit firm? Can an audit firm be CMA in practice? That means a partnership firm. Can a company be a CMA in practice? Can an LLP be a CMA in practice? Yes. Yes. If the people who are there in the particular firm, they are cost and management accountants, the firm can be classified as CMA in practice. It includes LLPs, firms, or you can say, generally if we talk about, it does not include a company, sorry. It does not include a company. A company cannot be appointed like that. It includes a firm or LLP of cost accountants. Do remember, whenever we are going to talk about a firm itself, that means whenever we are going to talk about cost auditors, it only means a partnership firm or an LLP. It does not include a company, because over there phenomena are different. Over here in LLP and firm, you can directly make those partners liable in case of any fraud or error. You can directly catch them. But in case of company, the phenomena are going to be different, right? So next is, what is a cost auditor? Cost auditor means a cost accountant in practice. Very simple. Who's going to be appointed by a board? What is cost audit report? Cost audit report means a report which is given by the cost auditor after examining the cost records, and after that, whatever the statement he's going to give, just like after checking your results, your examiner give you a statement, right? Your examiners give you a statement. So what happens generally after that? You have a particular cost auditor who is going to check your cost records, and after that he's going to give a statement that whether the cost records are up to the mark or not. Okay, as per the rules, including attachment, annexure, qualifications, observations attached with or included in such report. Right? Got it? Moving ahead, my dear students, talking about the next part. Now, what are the cost records? Cost records, you guys know about CRA1. I have already explained what is CRA1. So cost records are generally over there, which are divided particularly into 30 headings. So you can easily, for an easy definition, books of accounts relating to material, labor and other items of cost. Simple. Which are applicable to a particular organization, or you can say company. Now, whenever it comes to institute, that means ICMAI. Okay. Now, moving ahead and talking about, see, these are the things which we have already covered. We are not going to explain these things again. These are just definitions. There is only one definition which I am finding useful, or another one can be cost audit report. Apart from that, I'm unable to find any definition which is relevant and which can form a part of examination or which can be used in future. So, cost audit, I mean, it's all about that one should know about himself. one should be aware of that what is the definition. If I talk about the definition of CMA, you are a CMA and you don't know the definition itself, what is written in Companies Act, that is going to be a kind of insult, right? So this is something which you should be aware of. So the very first is about the application of cost records. You guys have covered rule number 3 with us, right? Yes, please. You have covered rule number 3 with us now. My dear students, where annual turnover of the products, yes, where annual turnover of the products is going to exceed, yes, 35 crore rupees, yes, where overall annual turnover of the products and services is 35 crore rupees or more during the immediately preceding financial year. That means you are going to prepare cost records for your product or services. Now what they have done, they have divided the industry itself. That means each and every company which is working, that has been divided into 2 parts. The very first part is regulated sector, which includes telecommunication services, which are by any means. I mean, you are giving certain kind of services like writing, images, sounds, intelligence, nature, or which straight away comes under TRI. That means every company, if we talk about from television to your mobile phone, is covered under TRI. If they are giving you any kind of telecommunication services like Vodafone Idea, Jio, Airtel, right? They are giving you telecommunication services. Now moving ahead, my dear students, talking about the next part. Next is all about the generation and supply of electricity. And as I have mentioned earlier as well, the part where you need to mention like that there was a heading required. Na? Headings are taken from Central Excise Tariff Act, HSN codes, Human Harmonized System of Nomenclature. Now, moving ahead, next is the petroleum products. Petroleum products, or you can say, if I talk about any kind of CNG, which we are using in our cars these days. I know everything is not electronic, but still we are using CNGs these days. Na? That is one of the one of those things. Right? Like we have that. What kind of petrols we have? Yeah, there are certain petrol companies, na? Like Bharat Petroleum, Indian Oil, right? Apart from that, drug and pharmaceutical companies, the companies which are manufacturing your medicines. Apart from that, we have fertilizer, sugar and industrial alcohol, right? Apart from that, when it comes to non-regulated sectors, we have machinery and mechanical appliances. The people who are making mechanical appliances which are being used in defense or atomic energy or those kind of things. Apart from that, turbojet, turbopropellers, arms, ammunitions, explosives, propellant powders, prepared explosives, right? Electric and igniters, scraps, fuses, a lot of things are there. Radiator apparatus. So these things are particularly mentioned under non-regulated sectors, right? The people who are manufacturing those tanks and other armored, just like you have tanks and you have other equipments when it comes to any kind of fight between 2 countries. And do remember, when it comes to these kind of organizations over here, a very huge portion is being occupied by government. Apart from that, we have like port services, right? We have aeronautical services, just like you have that kind of aircraft operations, like we have n number of flights over here, Indigo, Vistara, right? We had that kind of Kingfisher Airlines, iron and steel, road and infrastructure projects. So, sir, is it? Can we say that a particular infrastructure company is included? Yes. A construction company is included? Yes. Apart from that, we have rubber and ale products, coffee and tea, railway and tramway locomotives. If any company is having a work, if any company is working for railway, whether they are manufacturing tracks or whether they are doing anything else, so in that situation, it is also going to work. Apart from that, cement, ores and mineral products, mineral fuels. Moving ahead, apart from that, the base metals, if anybody is manufacturing inorganic chemicals, jute and jute products, edible oil, construction company, health services. That means if we talk about hospitals, or you can say there are certain things which are not running as hospitals, but they are running as diagnostic centers where you go for tests, just like Dr. Lal Path Labs, right? Those people are also required to get their accounts to prepare those cost records and get them audited from a cost accountant. Education services, right? Education services. So that means you are also included. Nah. How can we be included? Yeah. We have a lot of products and my turnover is not more than 100 crore rupees. Milk powder, insecticides, plasticides, and I wish your blessings are going to turn into a bliss like that, so that my turnover is going to be more than 100 crore rupees. The tires and tubes, papers, textiles, glass, other machinery, electricals and electronic machinery, right? So every company, if we talk about, just like we have Sony, Whirlpool, so whenever they are making any kind of electronic machinery, and sir, why we are even checking this? We are just checking it. See, there is no need to remember this. There is no need to remember this. It is over there in your course. That's why I'm explaining. That's all. Right? Apart from that, these companies are also included. You can go through with them as well. Do we need to remember them? No. Nothing. You don't need to remember anything. Right? Now we have that this part does not apply. This part does not apply to foreign company. This part does not apply to foreign company having only license office. Having only license office in India. See, whenever it comes to a foreign company, they are operating in India by using a lot of means. They can have a branch office, they can have license office, or they can have their head office over here. So if a foreign company is operating in India using the license office, serial number 33 is not going to apply. So why this is given? This is just given so that you can pick the exact serial number and fill it in your forms. That's all. Right? You can also check being like that whether your your organization comes under a regulated or unregulated sector. Now, apart from that, applicability of cost audit. Applicability of cost audit. This is something which I have already explained earlier as well. But still, let us read it. Let us confirm the same from the rules as well. This is just to make you guys believe that whatever we have covered into the diagram so far is written over here also. That overall annual turnover of the company from its all products is 50 crore rupees or more, and aggregate from an individual product or services is 25 crore rupees. Is 25 crore rupees or more. Do remember over here we are talking about 3A, that means we are talking about regulated sectors. And if we talk about non-regulated sector, non-regulated sector, if we talk about that kind of a non-regulated sector, my dear students, then overall turnover of the company from all its products in the preceding financial year should be 100 crore rupees or more. And if we talk about, there is and, that means you need to fulfill both. And product or services for which cost records are required to be maintained is 35 crore rupees or more. For a non-regulated sector, if you are working with a single product, that means it has crossed one product. From one product only you have achieved more than 35 crore rupees, and as an aggregate you have achieved 100 crore rupees or more, then you are required to have the cost records and get them audited from a proper cost accountant in practice. Got my point? Do remember, it does not apply to a company from whose revenue from exports, whether that belong to a regulated sector or non-regulated sector, exceeds 75%, which is operating from a special economic zone. Now here comes a point which was not covered into your diagrams. See, and that is engaged in generation of electricity for captive consumption. So that means, what does that mean? That means an electricity company is there. What they are doing, they are producing something and they are using that into their production. So just like that, captive consumption is one and the same thing. If we talk about an electricity company, right? Electricity company, in order to produce electricity, what they are doing, they are manufacturing windmills. They are manufacturing windmills. Using those windmills, they are manufacturing windmills, and they are using those windmills to produce electricity. That means whatever they are manufacturing, they are using it on their own. They are using it on their own in generation of electricity. In generation of electricity as per Electricity Rules 2005. Got my point? Yes, please. Yes, please, my dear student. Did you got my point? Yes, please. Should I go ahead? Now, moving ahead and talking about the next part which is there, that what kinds of records are over there, what kind of records we are going to maintain. See, whenever we talk about cost records, they are required to be maintained in form number CRA1. Right? Got it? Okay. Now everybody, whosoever is in compliance of rule number 3, they have to maintain cost records in CRA1. Got it? So those cost records are required to be maintained on the on a regular basis, not on a daily basis, so that one can have easy calculations, or they can facilitate the calculations when it comes to cost of sales or the margin of products or the activity. Let it be like you are maintaining them on a quarterly basis, half yearly basis, quarterly basis, and annual basis. That is the best phenomena for maintaining any kind of records when it comes to those kind of financial records or cost records. Okay, right? So why even we are maintaining them on regular basis, so that we can have good control over the operations, and we can particularly find out that whether our resources are working on the proper utilization, whether we are able to properly utilize our resources or not. Moving ahead, this is more of a revision class and less of an elaborative class. Cost audit, when it is required to be done? Yes, please. Sir, within 180 days, you are going to appoint a cost auditor. 180 days, yes, 180 days or 30 days. When it comes to filing, what you are going to do, 180 days or 30 days from the board meeting in which you have appointed the cost auditor, you are going to file straight away a form named as CRA2 with the central government. A cost auditor is going to give the written consent that yes, I am eligible and I can be appointed as cost auditor. So first of all, you are going to check the qualifications, that whether the person who is applying for it is eligible or not. So what you are going to do, you are going to have a special CBI, you are going to have a special CID or CBI who is going to run after them and let you know that whether that person is eligible to be appointed as cost auditor or not. No, na? That means what we are going to do, the very simple format is, you are going to have a written consent of the cost auditor, right? We are going to take a written consent from the cost auditor. Then, and what is going to be there in that written consent? He is going to certify that the individual or the firm is eligible for appointment and they are not disqualified from the appointment under the Cost and Works Accountants Act 1959. Or the rules which are made there. Okay, did you got my point? Moving ahead, my dear students, the next is all about that the individual or the firm, they have satisfied the criteria which is laid down in section number 141. Sir, section number 141 is for like that person, na? That is not for cost auditor. The satisfactory criteria, the eligibility conditions remain same for every auditor. Let it be like cost, let it be like internal, secretarial or statutory auditor. The eligibility criteria, everybody has to follow the same criteria, my dear students. Now let me show you what is written over there in section number 141. See, what we have done is we have written it over here. So this is section number 141, eligibility, qualifications and disqualifications of auditor. See, if we talk about that who is qualified to be appointed as a cost auditor, you are straight away going to write that he needs to be a member holding certificate of practice from ICMAI. If it's possible, write 21B, section number 21B of ICMA Act ICWA Act 1959, and along with that, write about 216 of ICWA Act 1959. Right? Okay. So now things are like that there's a particular firm. Now there are certain questions in my mind. It's good to practice questions along with the class too. See, now the very first question which I have in my mind, that there's a firm in which there are particularly 6 partners. Out of these 6 partners, or let it be like there are 8 partners, there are 2 chartered accountants, 1 company secretary, and rest of the 5 are cost accountants. Right? They are cost accountants. These are 2 chartered accountants, 1 company secretary. Is this firm eligible to be appointed as cost auditor? This is a firm that it be like it is a partnership or a LLP. Only a partnership or LLP can be appointed as a cost auditor. Now the question is, they have 2 chartered accountants, 1 company secretary and 5 cost accountants. Is it eligible to be appointed as a cost auditor firm? Yes or no? No, sir. Why? Because they have company secretaries and chartered. Nah. Phenomena is section number 141 clearly says where majority of partners majority of partners are CWAs, where majority of partners are cost and management accountants, CMAs, this firm will be classified as cost auditor. There is no harm in that. Getting my point? Yes, please. You got my point, right? Moving ahead, my dear student, talking about the next part which we have. A person shall be eligible for appointment as an auditor if he is a chartered accountant. So they are talking about the statutory auditor. We are talking about cost auditor, cost accountant, cost and management accountant. You can write over there. So we have to study this as per our understanding. So a firm where majority of partners are practicing in India are qualified for appointment may be appointed by the name in its firm. That means majority of partners, if they belong to a particular qualification, that firm can be said that yes, this firm is eligible to be appointed as cost auditor firm. Now, whatever a firm is going to be there, that can be LLP, right? Or that can be a partnership firm. There are a lot of people who are not eligible for appointment as an auditor of the company. Now, do remember, a body corporate, it is not allowed for any company to be appointed as a, auditor. Logic being, body corporate does have a separate legal entity phenomena with lifting on corporate wheels, members, shareholders, a lot of things are over there. So other than, but LLP is allowed. LLP is allowed. So in easy terms, if I tell you there's a cost auditor, there are some cost auditors who are looking forward to incorporate, a audit firm, who are looking forward to get the audit assignments. They can incorporate, they can shape their organization in two forms. The very first is partnership, next is LLP. Partnership or LLP. They cannot go for a company, not even a Section 8 company. It is not allowed. So if anybody is going to tell you that they cannot form any company, why? Because it is written in section number 141. An officer or employee of the company again cannot be a cost auditor. Logic being, the auditor means the person who is totally independent from you. The next is a person who is partner or who is particularly in employment or officer of company. See, there's a company. So I know this is a kind of an kind of concept which I'm teaching over here, but it's good for clarification of concepts, right? One should be aware of, because this gives you a practical understanding also. In this company, there's a person who is an employee. He is also holding certificate of practice. COP means he is also holding certificate of practice. Okay, he's also doing his job. And now very carefully, now listen very carefully. He's an employee, he's holding COP, he's a CMA. Can he conduct the audit of the same company? No, because audit is all about independence. Audit is all about independent examination. If you are going to conduct the audit of your company, you will never tell them that yes, these are the kind of frauds. It will be like a biased audit. An audit cannot be biased. Audit need to be independent. So this employee has a firm. Okay. This employee has an audit firm, and over there he has got one of his partners or employee. Can his partner or employee be appointed as our cost auditor? No. No, you cannot appoint it. Again, see, a person who is partner or who is in employment of officer or employee of company shall not be eligible for appointment as an auditor. Got it? Getting my point? Yes, please. Now, see what happens a lot of time, that you are going to be the cost auditor of a particular company, right? So let us suppose that there's a person and he has straight away applied to a particular company that yes, I am going to carry out the cost audit for your company. He has applied for the cost audit of this company. Now, what are the following? There are a lot of situations when the same can be rejected. If the person who has applied for the cost audit, or his relative is holding any kind of security or interest in this company, its holding company, its subsidiary company, or its associate company. If you are holding any kind of interest over there, right, then there will be a problem. So that means I'm not holding, my relatives are holding. How will I come to know about that? There are a lot of relatives, sir. There are a lot of relatives. See, relative does not have a very long definition when it comes to Companies Act. It includes a very small definition, which includes your wife, your father, your mother, your brother, your sister, your daughter, your son, your son's wife, your daughter's husband. Daughter's husband is not included, I guess. Right? So that is a very simple definition. The people who are very close to you, they may hold any kind of shares in the company. If then you are not eligible. But if they are holding like the security interest which they are holding in the company, that is even less than 1,000 rupees, then there is no problem. 1,000 rupees face value I am talking about. If they are holding for more than 1,000 rupees, if they are holding for more than 1,000 rupees, now here comes a problem. Here comes a problem. Now this limit has been particularly changed. I don't know whether your guys are so face value not exceeding 1,000 rupees, and which may further, as may be prescribed, it means which may further extend to like 1 lakh rupees face value. If you are holding shares in any company and the face value of those shares are 1 lakh rupees or more, you are disqualified. You cannot be appointed as cost auditor. If your relatives are holding them, again you are disqualified. Okay. Getting my point? Sir, no, I didn't get your point. See, first of all, for this person, for the cost auditor, it is straight away denied. This 1 lakh rupees limit is for with a relative. Now, did you got it? You cannot hold shares either in the holding company or in the subsidiary company or in the associate company or in the company itself where you are going to conduct audit. But your relatives can hold shares in such company up to a face value of 1 lakh rupees. It is allowed for them. Right? Next is, they should not be in debt. Your relative or the partners who are there in the partnership firm, they shall not be in debt to the company it's holding subsidiary. In debt is allowed up to a limit of 5 lakh rupees. The same is written in rule number 10 of Companies Audit and Auditor Rules. They must have not given any kind of guarantee or provided any security. Just like, I mean, this company has taken up any kind of loan, its holding subsidiary or associate has taken any kind of loan, and your partner or your relative or the auditor himself has given any kind of guarantee. That is allowed if the amount of guarantee does not exceed 1 lakh rupees. Guarantee up to rupees 1 lakh is allowed. There is no harm. Right? Apart from that, if a person of a firm is having direct business relationship with the company. See, everybody at this point of time has a couple of business. Just like I am running my firm, and apart from that, what else I have here is I'm teaching you guys. Right? So I am appointed as a cost auditor of that company. But still, apart from that, what I'm doing, I'm giving them various kind of services when it comes to education. So that is again a business relationship that cannot be established with the subsidiary, holding or associate company, but that is allowed. Right? That is allowed. Why that is allowed? That is allowed if the business is what you are doing in ordinary course of business, and that is done on arm's length price. Arm's length price means that is not a preferred price. Just like preferred price, what does it mean? The price which you are going to charge from a third person, without having any kind of negotiations, or straight away let us believe that I do have a shop, right? And you came at my shop, you told me that, sir, I am one of your students, so I'm going to give you a good discount, right? So let us suppose like Ashwarya Rai, she comes to my shop, and after that I will be like, oh my god, right? I will give her goods for like free, but suddenly after some time a customer came. So I'm not going to give him a normal discount. Why should I give you discount? I don't know you. So that is a preferred price. You should not give any kind of preferred price to anybody. So these are particularly the eligibilities. A person whose relative is director in the company or KMP, then again, if your relative or any person is director in or relative in the company, or he is there as director or KMP, then you will not be allowed to conduct the cost audit for that company itself. See, so whenever you are going to establish a link or whenever you are going to apply for a cost audit, do ensure that your family members are not working over there. If they are working, you cannot be appointed as a cost auditor. You got my point? Sir, when I have one of my friends in reference, so great. The people who are going to be there in practice, do remember you need to have good links. You need to have good kind of communication with everybody so that you can get good work. Apart from that, moving ahead, my dear student, that a person who is in full-time employment anywhere else as he cannot be appointed as a cost auditor, because being as a cost auditor, you need to devote a lot of time. Right? Apart from that, any other person who has been convicted by court of an offense involving fraud and 10 years has not elapsed. That means if you have committed fraud in the year 2015, you will be eligible after 2025. After committing fraud, you have been convicted after 10 years, now you will be eligible. You are not eligible for being like 10 years. Now, moving ahead, my dear students, you have already covered that, yes, what is the eligibility criteria, although that was not supposed to be covered, but it's okay, I can understand. Now, moving ahead, the proposed limit that you can carry out the audit of maximum 20 public companies. When it comes to private companies, this criteria does not apply, but public companies should be maximum 20. And apart from that, the list of the proceedings, if there are any proceedings which are pending against the cost auditor or the audit firm, right? So that is something which you need to understand. That needs to be true and correct. That whatever matters, whatever he is saying, that he is absolutely giving a true and correct statement. Now, if you have appointed, so once you got this written consent from the auditor, once you got this kind of a certificate from auditor, this is going to be one of the attachments in form number CRA2. So cost auditor is going to be appointed, and you are going to file the notice of appointment with central government within 30 days of the board meeting in which such appointment is made, or period of 180 days from the commencement of financial year, whichever is earlier, you are going to file form number CRA2. Got it? Moving ahead. Now, till how much time he is going to continue with us as a cost auditor? He is going to continue like till expiry of 180 days from the closure of financial year, or the time when he is going to submit his cost audit report, whichever is earlier. Right? Expiry of tenure. This is again what we have covered. Sir, okay, so this class seems like that we are revising and we are wasting our time. No, this is just so that you guys can have your belief upon me, you can have trust upon me, that yes, whatever I'm telling you, that is already covered. Right? You need to trust our books, you need to trust your teacher. That is very important, first of all. Right? If any person, say, let us say, if there is any kind of casual vacancy, your organization or the company itself has removed the auditor itself, then in this situation, he will not be straight away removed. You need to give him a proper, reasonable opportunity of being heard, that you are being removed. Now we are going to remove you. Do you have anything to say? Do you want to say something in your defense? There should be an opportunity which is given to the auditor itself. And CRA2 is to be filed with the central government about intimation of another cost auditor who is going to be the next auditor. That means whenever you are going to appoint a fresh auditor, that is going to the appointment. Whenever we talk about any appointment of cost auditor, the form number CRA2 is going to be filed with central government. Got it? Okay, and apart from that, in case of any casual vacancy, whether that is due to any reason, let it be like resignation, death, or removal, you are going to fill that casual vacancy within 30 days. Do remember, my dear students, if any casual vacancy has taken place, you need to fill that casual vacancy within 30 days. Got it? And whatever the statements, if I talk about the cost audit report or the board report itself or the cost statement, they are signed by board. Once an auditor is going to submit his reports to the board is going to sign them, board is going to approve them. Whenever a cost auditor is going to conduct the audit, after that he is going to submit his audit report in form number CRA3. This is the format of audit report. He is going to sign, right? And when he is going to sign them within a period of like 180 days, because before the expiration of his term, he has to sign that and submit it to the board. Once the report is submitted, now he is relieved from his liability, his work is done, his amount will be paid to him. Every company which is covered within a period of 30 days from the date of receipt of copy of cost audit report furnished to central government, such report with full information in form number CRA4 in extensible business reporting language. Got it? XBRL is a format in which we do those kind of you call it as we report our financials, or you can say audit reports. right? So that is, again, if you want to study them in detail, we have companies, filing of documents, and forms an extensible business reporting language. We call it XBRL, but we write it as extensible. E is silent over there. Extensible business reporting language. Got it? This is particularly the full form of XBRL. I know this class was like a little bit in a hurry, but I know this much that yes, we have covered the things already. And I don't believe in covering those things again and again. So this was just, to give you guys a glimpse that yes, if we are over there on diagrams, that means we are covering everything. Don't worry about that. Okay, that's all from my side. Bye-bye. Take care of yourself. We are done for this classroom. In next classroom, most probably we are going to pick up a lot of numericals, right? And after that, we will proceed further. Bye. In case if you have any doubts, please feel free to raise them. Bye.